up, guys? It's Susie Bullock from HeyGrillHey.com, and if you're here, that means we already have something in common. We both love good barbecue, and that's perfect because at Hey Grill Hey, my whole goal is to help you make better barbecue so you can feed the people you love and become a backyard barbecue hero. Today, we are doing that with the king of all smoked meats, a smoked brisket. And what I'm teaching you today is the secret to a super delicious brisket rub. Let's do it. Now, there are a million ways to smoke a brisket, but there are also a million ways to season a brisket. There are competition style rubs, Texas style rubs. I like to fall somewhere in between, and I like to make my own rubs based on our family's flavor preferences. So I'm teaching you my basic brisket rub today. And of course, as with all of my recipes, this is up to your own interpretation, and I'll give you a few different adaptations you can add in to get the flavor that you like on your brisket. Now, my rub only has 6 ingredients. We're keeping it really simple. Here's what you'll need. I'm gonna start with 2 tablespoons of coarse ground black pepper. Now, the grind on the pepper is really important. You want it to be that thicker, coarse grind because it's gonna give you some nice texture and surface area on the outside of your brisket. It's really gonna help develop that dark, crunchy, crispy bark that's super coveted. You also need 2 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. Again, the texture of the coarse salt is really important here. A tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of smoked paprika. This one does a really amazing thing for the color on the outside of the brisket rub, and 2 teaspoons of ground coriander. This is kind of my secret weapon when it comes to my brisket rub. Coriander is a really popular seasoning for pickling spices. You'd see it on the outside of pastrami, and it just adds this beautiful citrusy kind of kick to the outside of the brisket rub. Now, like I said with adaptations, if you want a little bit of spice in your brisket rub, add in some cayenne. If you want it sweet, like some kind of sugar cookie rubs is what they're called when you add brown sugar, that's what I would recommend. A couple tablespoons of brown sugar, white sugar, turbinado sugar. You can mix and match if you want some sweetness on your brisket. And sugar also helps really develop that nice dark bark, but we like ours without sugar, so we don't put any in ours, but it's totally an option if that's what you want. This brisket rub already smells amazing. Let's get it onto our brisket. I already have one trimmed down and ready to go. This is a beautiful, about 15-pound Wagyu brisket from Snake River Farms. Nice and fatty. If you want to see how I trim and smoke my briskets, that's a different video. So make sure you watch my Texas style smoked beef brisket video. I'll walk you through the entire process. And if you want to go even deeper into your brisket know-how, I actually have a masterclass as part of my online barbecue community called the Gorilla Squad, where I will teach you all of the ins and outs of perfectly smoked brisket. But since today is all about the rub, we're just gonna get this beautiful piece of meat that's already trimmed, slathered with mustard. Just get a nice thin layer across the top. Use your hands. Now, the mustard is going to do a couple of things. It's gonna act as a binder, which means it's gonna help that rub stick. And the acidity that's in the mustard itself is gonna start to break down some of the surface proteins of the meat. It's gonna give us a really nice, crispy, crunchy bark. I really recommend using a mustard slather on briskets. Our brisket is slathered on both sides. That means it's time to sprinkle with our seasoning. You can just go straight from the bowl if you mixed it, or you can transfer this to another jar with a shaker type lid. I don't mind just going straight from the bowl. Hold your brisket seasoning, I would say 10 to 12 inches above your brisket, and then just give it a nice shake. It'll help the seasonings really distribute more evenly across the top of your meat. Once your seasoning is evenly distributed across the top of your brisket, use your mustardy hand, which is why I have gloves on, and press the seasoning in. This will really make it adhere to the mustard and to the brisket. I call this technique Susie's sprinkle and slap. I know a lot of pitmasters prefer to really rub into the meat, but I like to give it a gentle press. I like to leave the surface of the brisket a little bit bumpy. I think it helps to really get that bark developing when it's in the smoker. This side looks good. Flip your brisket over and season the top. press in this side as well. The brisket seasoning we made should be enough to just cover perfectly one giant brisket. Our brisket looks good. I personally like to season my brisket right before I get it onto the smoker. I know a lot of people will season the night before, wrap it up, and kind of let that salt work into the brisket. It will change the flavor of your brisket, and a little bit will change in the texture as well. If that's something you prefer, I say give it a try. Season it the night before, wrap it in plastic wrap, stick it in the fridge. But for me, I like the seasoning to go on right before I get it out on the smoker. This one's ready to go. And I've got the smoker rolling, 225 degrees. Like I said, we're following my Texas brisket recipe, so we're gonna go put this one on the smoker. Ta-da! Magic of television. We have a finished brisket with our brisket rub. I can't wait to open up this paper and show you guys the bark that we developed with that brisket seasoning. It smells so good. Look at that. Let's slice this brisket and try it, because as beautiful as the bark looks, it has to taste even better. This is usually the part that Todd wanders in so that he can get first pick on the brisket slices. Look at that.
We cut mid-filming here, guys, because we had to show you this today. Look. Oh, mamacita.
Turned out all right, Todd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start slicing the I was just talking about the fatty end.
Oh.
For the fatty side.
I know, I heard.
I'm gonna slice this one for you first because I know that's your favorite.
Whoa.
I mean, that's a pretty generous portion.
Yeah.
Here, I'll cut you a little piece to try. We kept it pretty basic because I know you like salt and pepper the most. But it's got some other little goodies in there.
Mm. Holy cow.
No tricks.
Look at me.
Just straight up flavor. Beautiful bark. Beautiful smoke ring.
You can taste those extra things like the paprika and the coriander, but
They add without taking away.
100%.
You guys, try this brisket rub on your next brisket. Add in a couple things to make it your very own. Snap a photo when you do, post it online, use the hashtag HeyGrillHey. That way Todd and I can see it and cheer you on your path to becoming a backyard barbecue hero. I mean, it's hard not to feel like one when you turn out a brisket like this. That was a good day.